So fine. So let's see from the previous session. Actually, we have stopped from that SQL database creation and that portal, right? Yes. Yeah. Just actually. Actually, yesterday we faced the problem in the sandbox, right? So actually, the sandbox. So I had some problem in that reviewing that login details. So I think it's resolved. So I'll try to open that new sandbox. So here, so just I'm trying to activate my sandbox now. Just activate. So this is the way actually.
Just sandbox. Okay. Just sandbox means that's login details, right?
Actually, Sandbox is like it's one of the environment. So there's Azure environment only. So for this
Mhm.
environment, so we will work out everything. So without paying anything. So but this feature will be available in that for the certain period only.
Okay.
So it will be more helpful for our practice purpose actually. So the one Sandbox, if it is activated now, so it will be activated for that 4 hours. So during that
Okay.
4 hours, so whatever the features we want to try it in that Azure cloud portal, so we can try it everything, but it is not the permanent one. So the learning purpose, it will be more helpful. Actually, earlier it was not working for me properly. So that is the reason, especially I use that subscription pay as you go mode. But if it is working fine now, maximum things, whatever but here also there are some limitations are there. So whatever the features are available in this sandbox, so you can work out anything.
Okay.
So for this one, you don't want to do anything actually. You don't want to log in anything actually. That's sorry, you want to pay anything. So this is a free version only, but you have to log in. So the login should be there in the same ID. So once the sandbox is active enough from the same ID from this portal, just you have to open the portal and it should
Yeah.
be signed the same using the same.
Okay.
Using the same, you have to sign. See the Microsoft Learn Sandbox directory. So if you are working in this directory, na, so you no need to pay anything.
Okay.
So learning purpose, this is enough. So even today also you can try from your side. I will share this link from here. So you can activate your sandbox. So like this, what I did here. So, but here, when you are activating this one, this page should be logged in by using one email ID, any email ID, whether it's Gmail or Outlook, anything you can use it. So you can use that one trial email ID for this one. Okay.
Okay.
Regularly, you can use that same ID for this practice. So if you are
Okay.
using like this now, you don't want to create that actually separate credential, separate account for this free trial. So the free trial you can create later whenever you want to use it. Okay,
Yes.
you got it.
Yes. Yes.
So now we are in that Microsoft Azure portal. So this is the landing portal. Once you logged into this is the now common one. Once you logged into this Azure portal, so it will be navigated to this page only. From here, we can create that resources. Whatever the resources we want to create, we can create it. See, already SQL database is available in that homepage. So from here also you can create it. Just I'm clicking this SQL database, and here, see, no SQL database to display because we didn't create anything. So just I'm creating this create SQL database. So this is our, so here. So once you click that create SQL database, it will be navigated to this page, create SQL database page. It will be navigated to here, and here the subscription. So by default, it will be in this subscription only because we are using Sandbox. So you don't want to choose it anything. So default
Okay.
one, you can use it, and resource group. So this is the important thing actually. The resource group usually we have to create in the real-time scenario in the dev environment and the production environment. Actually, we will create that our resource group based on our business scenario. Resource group is nothing but simple like that one. All the services, whatever the services, we are going to use it in the Azure portal. All the services should come under that one resource group. This is common hierarchy order. Okay. Otherwise, you cannot use that any of the services. So that services you have to keep it in that one resource group. The resource group you can, for example, if you are working for that multiple clients, now for each client you can create that separate resource group. You got it?
Yes.
So like this you can create that any of the resource group, but here already we are having that one default resource group for this learning page. So I'm selecting that resource group, and here you have to give that your database name. So what type of database you are going to create. So the database name you have to create it here. The database name, just actually what I'm going to do here, just I'm going to give that, simply I'm going to use that my database name demo db, something like that. You can give it any the real time scenario. So we know that for the database what we will do, so we will create that actually database based on our business requirement scenario, right? So here just I'm
Yes.
creating that demo db only. So here the database name if you are creating now, so the database name, so it should be created under one of the server, the database server, under the one of the server it should be created. So here, so there is no database server right now so far I have created. So what I'm going to do here, just I'm going to create the new database server. So if you click this create new icon, the hyperlink now, so this pop-up will be opened. Here the server name you have to create it. The server name should be a globally unique name. So just I'm creating uh, my DB server. Just for understanding, just I'm giving my DB server. See, the server name should not contain reserved words, and the specified server name is already in use. So this is not a reserved words, but this name already used by someone. So we could
Yes.
not create it. Got it? So
Yes,
just
sir.
what I'm doing here, my server, my DB server Paul. Just I'm adding my name. So in this real-time scenario, we will add that our client name or something, our region or business-related information is we will add it. So now it's available. The associated server name is available. So this is a server details. My DB server Paul dot and the database dot windows dot net is our
.NET.
server name. This is our server details. And the server the admin login you have to mention here. The admin login name, just I'm using admin Paul. So it's available. So see, just I'm giving only your login name must not contain a SQL identifier or a typical system name like admin, administrator, SCA, root, DB manager, login manager, extra. So built-in database
Okay.
uses are role, so it should not be mentioned. So it should be a unique name. So customized name. Just I'm using admin Paul and password. So then you have to provide that password. Yeah, that's fine. So the region, I'm not going to select any specific region. The default only just I'm going to keep it. Then it's okay, fine. Then click OK. So my DB server Paul in the East US selected, right? Fine.
Yes.
So now I have created my DB, my database in my server. So then I have to select this. I want to use that SQL Elastic Pool. Are you going to use that SQL Elastic Pool or not? So as of now, no, I'm not going to use that Elastic Pool. So by default, selected yes, no only. So then the compute plus storage, general purpose. So the general purpose configuration details actually. The configuration details now. So what is the meaning of this configuration details? The configuration details actually see, and This configuration details actually it's classifying into two ways. It's classifying into two ways: DTU and VCO. DTU and VCO. So the one of the configuration features we have to select it. I didn't select anything specifically. Just I'm clicking this configuration database. It's navigating to some other page. See, by default, so it's got selected something provisioned, and it will the default information. I'll explain everything detailing. Just now I'm
Sure.
showing you overview only. So
Okay.
the service tier, it is showing this general purpose. See, it's a drop down list, so we can check it. Is there any other service features? Yes, it's having some service features. General purpose, hyperscale, business critical, DTU based purchase, basic, standard, premium. Actually, actually UA is, something got changed differently. So the UA actually currently it's something slightly changed, I think, but all features are available. So the compute features, configuration details. When you are selecting these configuration features, so have to be very conscious and you have to be very careful on this one. Actually, there is two types of configuration features are available. One is the DTU and vCore. Under the DTU, so we are having three types of DTUs. DTU is nothing but data transformation units. Data transformation units. One is the basics, standard, premium. The advanced one is vCore. Under the vCore, we are having the general purpose, hyperscale, business critical. Under the general purpose, we are having the features provision, serverless, and then Azure hybrid benefit. See, for example, if you are going to purchase that one laptop or that desktop, so what are the configuration you will check it? Actually, you will check it. What is the memory, system memory, RAM memory, right? And what is the physical memory, that hard disk memory, and what is the processor, right? Actually in the processor you will check that core speed, right? What speed it is working. So in the behind, if your system performing fine, it's performing very fast now, so that means your processing memory, that system having more. That is the meaning, right? You got my point?
Yes, yes.
So the processing memory, it is having more. So that background processing memory, actually here that it's representing this DTU or vCore. This DTU or vCore, it's representing that system processing memory. You got it?
Yes.
Fine. But this DTU and vCore also splitted in different ways: basic, standard, premium. So each one having some separate features in the cloud. So first we will check it when we will use this DTU. Actually, this DTU type of configuration, in the real-time scenario where we will use it now, we will use it in the development environment, staging environment, UAT environment. When we are creating one new database, we have to we have to create that, we have to select that configuration actually. Sorry. So we have to select this configuration. Here we have to select that configuration database. So this
Yes.
configuration, actually, the two way we can select it. One is that DTU, so data transform unit. Another one is that vCore.
Equal.
So this configurations only is going to support your processing speeds of your system. That means actually in the
Yeah.
virtual system only you are working in this database, right?
Yeah.
This database is nothing but this is a database application. This database application should be run in that one machine, right? That
Yes.
virtual
Yes.
machine. That virtual machine should have some configuration, right? System configuration. So compute and storage. So the each second or each minute, so how that system should respond, it is deciding based on this configuration details only. How it is going to perform. So based on this configuration details, only is going to perform. So here, this DTU, just I'm selecting. So again, you have to select it. So demo DB, then see, fine.
Yeah.
So here, this configuration,
So that
so it is having, so this DTU purchase model having three features, the basic,
basic standard
standard,
premium.
and premium. So generally in the DTUs, they are using for the development environment or staging environment or UAT environment.
Okay.
Suppose if you are selecting this basic in the DTU, if you're selecting the basic for less demanding workloads, right? Less demanding workloads. There is no huge amount of data processing is not there. So in the normal data processing only there. So there is no fast processing using that huge amount of data requirement, right? So less demanding workloads. So just I'm selecting this now. By
So production
default,
we are using Rico.
vCore. In the production, we'll use that vCore.
Okay.
vCore. See the basics, the DTU basic model. Simply, it is giving that 5 DTUs. By default, it is giving that 5 DTU, 5 DTUs, and that maximum data storage, it is allowing 2 GB.
2 GB.
So for this monthly cost, you have to pay that 4.99 US dollar monthly cost. So this is a default feature. So you don't have that much amount of data processing. It is a normal data transaction processing only. We are going to use this database now. Then what we can do, so we can use this basic because it is having that memory up to 2 GB. So up to the 2 GB data maximum, we can save storage. The speed, how it will be performed now. So the default 5 DTU speed, the common speed will be there. Suppose if I'm selecting the standard in the DTU, under the DTU, if I'm selecting standard, see, this is for workloads with a typical performance requirement. Typical performance requirements. See, here the default size, DTU, this is a DTU default size. Actually, default size, so it's actually maximum it's available 10 DTUs. Maximum it's available 10 DTUs. So if you want to increase now, you can increase it. So now its maximum is default maximum is 10. Now it's increased 20. If you're increasing that DTU means your SQL server application performance, running performance will be increased. You got my point?
Yes. Yes.
But when you're getting that more DTUs, it will be charged extra. See, the default it was $15. The default, it was $15. But when you're extending up to this 220 or something, see, you have to pay for the DTU. So like this, however you want to increase, so based on that one, the cost amount also will be getting increased. The same way, the performance of this SQL database, the TTU, the data transform units performance will be high. This DTU, it is not depending upon this data storage. The data storage separately. Suppose if you want to extend the data storage, the 10 GB, you can extend. So here, see, here, here. So listen one thing. Whenever I'm increasing this data, memory storage, there is no changes in the cost, right?
Correct.
So the cost actually, they are charging for the configurations only. For the configuration only. Based on the configuration, how you are going to select. So based on that configuration, the DTU count, the memory getting increased, the data storage memory getting increased. See, now I have selected 800 DTU. So the memory getting increased up to 1024 GB, it's available.
Yeah.
If I'm selecting increasing this one, see, increasing this one. So performance, so the maximum 1 TB, the maximum data storage is in the standard 1 TB, not GB, 1 TB.
Yes.
But the performance, once you reach this 3000 DTU, see, you have to pay 4,600 plus US dollar per month. So here everything is deciding the selecting of that DTU model. So what type of DTU model you are going to select it. So up to the 1 TB data storage, so up to the 3000 DTU selection feature available in the standard model in the DTU, right?
Yes.
So in the same way, if you're selecting the premium, the same up to this here, so 4000 and
4,000.
GB, the 1 TB actually, sorry, 4096 GB,
4096.
but the cost will get increased.
16,000.
Your US dollar,
Yes, yes.
right? And one more feature is read scale out feature is available. So read scale out features actually the reading data actually some performance reading data redundancy. So keeping some memory, temporary memory, all those features are will be enabled. And would you like to make this database zone redundant feature? Zone redundant feature also available. Suppose in the same zone, if you want to keep that replica data, if you want to keep it now, so if you select that yes means, so the data will be stored in that another storage in the same what is this one location, the zone, same zone. Duplicate data. So two database, for example, demo DB, if it is your database means, so one copy of the demo DB will be maintained in the same zone. So redundancy. So replica of data will be there. That feature is available in this model of this DTU usage. You got it?
Yes, yes.
At the same time, if you are selecting this vCore based purchase now, so it is having three features. So general purpose, the general purpose having, see the general purpose features actually, I will come to this one later, these two. Compute hardware selection, select the hardware configuration based on, so by default change configuration by default up to 830 vcores and up to 408 GB memory, it's available. The vcore features we can select here if you're increasing. So see, once you select this one, the memory also getting changed. So anything you can select it here.
Yes, yes.
Would you like to make this database zone redundant? Replica data, if you want to keep it in the same zone now, you can select yes. Otherwise, you can select. And one more feature is there, save money. So what is the save money feature? the configuration, save many features available for that vCore. What is this now? Say up to 55% with the license you already own, already have a SQL Server license. Just you have to check it. See, nothing but so the on premises I'm having license for 5 years. So the same license I have to use it. The same license I have to use it. So in the cloud. So what I can do now? So I can select this option. So they are allowing to use that license. So 50, up to the 50 percentage, the license cost will be reduced when I'm using that same license in the Azure cloud. So some cost amount will be decreased for me, right? So change configuration. Just I'm clicking change configuration. So the generation 5th generation balanced memory and compute maximum vCores 80 maximum memory. By default, it is selected only. Suppose if you want to choose only this lower versions now, see M series available only in business critical service. So the availability, hardware configuration details, it's based on the business details. M series it's available only for the business critical, but we have selected general feature, the
Yeah.
vCore. The DC series, if you need, just it will be available. You can select this one. So maximum vCores available up to 8. Maximum memory it's available up to 36. Storage 3 TB. So this is the cost per month. So you can select which configuration models, your hardware model you are going to select it based on the cost. Everything is cost only deciding here, right?
Yes.
By default, it is up to the 80 fifth generation hardware configuration feature. So it is available up to 80 vCores. So 408 GB memory. Okay, fine. And come to this compute tier. So the compute tier, provisioned serverless. Compute resources are pre-allocated, built per hour based on the vCore configured. Serverless compute resources are auto-scaled, built per second based on vCore used. Right? See here, actually, provisioned and serverless. So the two things very important. If you are selecting provision means simple understanding. For example, for the 1 hour, if they are charging $1, just imagine in this uCore plan, service tier plan, so general purpose vCore plan, if you are selecting provision, just imagine they are charging $1 per hour, right? But that 1 hour in a day, I'm using only 2 hours. I'm working in that environment for 2 hours. But the whole day it will be charged for based on that each hour. You got it?
Yes. Yes.
But if you are selecting serverless, it will be calculated based on that vCore used in the seconds. Secondly based. The vCore, if it is used the particular second, it will be calculated. It will be added.
Okay.
So the secondly based, the vCore is used, then it will be added. But here, whether this vCore is used in that 1 hour, it is used or not, but the 1 hour amount will be charged, right?
Yes.
But here it is not like that one. So it will be calculated how many seconds are used in that 1 hour. Based on that seconds, it will be amount will be calculated, not the hourly basis. So this is the best method for selecting the serverless feature. Got it?
Yes.
Fine. So like this, I have hyperscale on-demand scalable storage, on-demand. But important thing, the rest of the things are almost the same. The availability features, everything is available, but the capability to change from hypercare to another service tier is not supported. Once you selected this service tier feature now, so then this database feature, this service tier, you could not change it. You could not change it.
Okay.
So rest of the things all are almost the same. Business critical, so high transaction rate and high resiliency. So all features are available, and same, almost same. The memory wise will be getting changed. The memory wise in the 8 TB cores, so 4077.
4077.
Okay. So
Yes.
here actually, so you have to select it. So which configuration you are going to select for your database. So this is the configuration details we have to select it. So this is the concept of configuration. So based on your business scenario, you have to decide it which configurations feature is will be suitable for your business scenario. Actually, as a developer, we are not going to do anything like this because these all parts will be covered, will be handled by this administration people. Okay,
Yes, yes.
so admin people, they will handle it. So you don't want, sales team will decide it. So sales team will decide it, and then administration team will do this all this troubleshooting also, and configuration settings, right? So as a developer, we are not going to do anything here. But if you are having that knowledge about the using of this configuration features now, then it will be more helpful for our usage in our development time. You got it? Fine.
Yes.
So here just I'm selecting this basic method and then click apply. So it's enough for me. So one more thing is backup storage. I don't want to use it any backup storage. Geo redundant backup storage, zone redundant backup storage redundance. That's fine. So geo concept you will see it separately. That's fine. Now come to this elastic pool. Okay, the elastic pool. So what is the elastic pool? So do you want to select this elastic pool or not? So up to this configuration, so the rest of the things, is it clear?
Yes, yes, clear.
It's clear, right?
Just one question.
Yeah.
In that config database, right? You selected the basic one, and the chargeable is around $5. Okay. So after the apply, the amount will deduct from your account or what? But you did not given anything, right?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Last
No,
sentence, I didn't get you. What is that?
no. In that configure database,
Mm-hmm.
you selected in basic, right?
Yeah.
Basic is around $5. So how it will deduct the money?
No, no, actually. So
Mhm.
now we are using Sandbox only. So this Sandbox server will be available up to 4 hours only. So everything will be
Okay,
destroyed.
okay,
Okay. So here everything will be
okay.
destroyed. But if you are using that, if you are using that, what is that one? Subscription now,
Energy, yeah,
pay
subscription.
as you go subscription means. So what will be happen now? So
Mhm.
once you created, the calculation will be started, the charges will be started.
Okay, okay,
Okay, that charge details actually where it will be available na? So in the subscription, right? Usually
yes.
in the subscriptions, so usually that subscription, the pay as you go subscription detail will be there. So once you
Mhm.
click this page now, so it will show that all the cost by resources, whatever the resources you have used, all will be
Okay.
listed here.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'll show you in my
Yeah,
license one after the session.
yeah, yeah.
So now come to this, want to use that SQL Elastic Pool or not. So what is the SQL pool first? Elastic Pool, SQL Elastic Pool. See, simply I'm coming to this. Later we come to this search Azure Virtual Machine. Mm, along with the SQL creation time, we will check that. What is this? Elastic Pool. Yes, Elastic Pool. Rest of the things we will see it later. Now come to this Elastic Pool. See here. So here, what they're asking, they're asking us whether we want to use this elastic pool or not, right? So if you want to choose no or yes, first we should know what is elastic pool, right? So here, now come to this elastic pool, just a simple. The elastic pool is nothing but using of DD only. Using of DTU only. Okay. Just imagine I'm having one database. I'm having one database. So this is my database. This is my DTU utilization details. In my one database, the DTU utilization details. This is the time. This is the time. See, my one database actually used that DTU system process, right? The processing, DTU processing. Actually, when the DTU will be used now, whenever you are transferring the data in the databases, that time only DTU going to perform, right?
Okay.
If it is going to be ideal now, then DTU there is no use, right? There is no activation in the DTU, right? When the DTU will be performed, when you are doing that some transaction. See, at the time of 12 o'clock, my data processed little bit the 10 DTU count, right? 10 DTU count. The 12.5, some huge amount of data came, it's processed something fast. So that DTU utilized 50%, 50 DTU, right? This is just imagine this is the use of DTU counts. This is the DTU counts. This is the time. So overall, I'm having the 100 DTU for my database. So just I'm once again telling you when the DTU will be performed now. Whenever you are transaction happening in the database, at the time only DTU going to be utilized. So the 1210, the DTU utilized 90 count. 1210. That means that 1210 something some huge data came. So it's processed something fast. You got it?
Yes.
1215 something is reduced up to 50 and 1220 up to 10. See the 1222, 1255. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing
Zero.
happened. The DTU is not performed. That means that data transformation is nothing happened. So in that time, actually my system was ideal, right?
Yes.
My system was ideal. My memory was ideal. I didn't use that memory, that processing memory. I didn't use it. On the level 1255, some data are came. So my memory, my processing memory started to use that 50 DTU. Again, back to that normal, nothing process, right?
Yes.
See, just imagine for this overall 100 DTU, the 100 DTU, if I'm paying, just imagine if I'm paying that $50 per month, 50 $50 per month. Is that $50 is utilized fully?
Mm.
Is that $50 per amount utilized fully? Actually, I paid
Yes.
that amount. I paid that amount.
Yes.
So amount utilized, right? But
Yeah.
the memory, that means the DTU usage, it is utilized.
Mm-hmm.
This DTU is utilized for that whole the amount what I have paid.
Yes.
Is it utilized or not?
No, it's utilized, right?
Actually, see, 100, I'm paid for 100 DTU.
Yeah.
I have used that 90 percentage
90.
of 90 DTU calculation only once, right?
Yes.
And something 15 two times or three times.
Correct.
But maximum time it was in idle. But that means I have paid for that. I have paid including that time which is not used, right?
Yes. Yes. It's not
Because
used.
because this is not a this way of using is not the pay as you concept. Actually, you have selected one plan, the standard static plan, and you are paying that amount. Whether you are using that much amount of DTU in that time or not, it is not a matter, but you have to pay that amount. You paid that amount and it is used, right? So actually here, what I'm doing now, I'm paying extra amount. Actually, I'm paying extra amount, right?
Yeah.
See, the calculation, if it is calculating based on that usage means the 1222, 1255, the amount should not be charged anything, right?
Yes.
But here it will not be considered this idle time. Whether you used or not, it will be taken that amount by default. Because I have purchased this common this common DTU. I have purchased this common DTU as a one plan, just our mobile plan or something like that one. See, this type of usage here, this type of usage here, this DTU means that the process happened only one time up to 90.
Correct.
So maximum time it is an under provisioning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over provisioning, actually, if you are paying that amount in this way now, it is called over provision. It is called over provision. We are paying that money which is not using by me, right? By us, right?
Correct.
So this is called over provision. Actually, this resource I have taken in the way in the method of over provision. It is lost for me. But I'm not sure when I need 90 percentage of DT usage and when I need 50 percentage and when I need 10 percentage and when it will going to be ideal. I'm not sure that one. So then there is no option. That is the reason I have paid that amount for this static plan, right?
Correct.
But the problem is, suppose if I'm taking only for the 20 or 50 DTU purchase now, what will be happen? Sometimes it is happening 90, right?
Yes.
That time that DTU memory will not be available, right? Then that type of processing is called under provisioning. So by mistaken, I did under provisioning. Because of the under provisioning, I lost my data. It's possible, right?
Yeah.
So over provision, it is also loss for me. Under provision, it is also loss for me. So what we can do? So to avoid this, actually, the purchasing, if I would just imagine the purchasing of this 100 DT utilization is it's a standard. So how we can utilize that DTU without you losing anything over provisioning or under provisioning? So for the concepts only, the elastic pools are coming into the picture. Elastic pools are coming into the picture. Actually, what we can do now, so you can create that elastic pools. In that elastic pools, you can create that database. The database, actually, you can create that multiple database. So the multiple database here, see here, I'm having 4 database. All 4 database, just I'm going to create that under the one elastic pool. So what will be happen if I'm creating all this database one under that one elastic pool? Now see here, see the blue is one database, right? This orange is one database. So the purple is one database. This yellow is one database.
Hello.
See here, I'm using the same DTU, total 100 only, but all those total 100 DTU utilization, I'm applying for my 4 databases. See what it is happening when that blue is performing 10 now, it is taking 10. At the same time, yellow is taking 50. Yeah, it's available. The same DTU is using by another database, right?
Okay.
This blue reached 90
90.
and this orange also reached 90. This purple also reached 90. This yellow reached 90. But the same utilization, you did you only available there, but it's sharing by that databases, right? It
Yes.
is sharing by the databases. So I'm sharing my DTU across that databases. So now there is no idle usage, right? So now the same DTU 100 DTU using by, actually it is using by different databases. So then then actually here actually what will be happen also. So if it is this blue databases, no data processing, no issues. That time this yellow or orange or purple can use that memory, right? It may use frequently. Data are coming in any one of the database in the in some circle. So here actually what you have to do now, you have to plan it which and what are the databases will be suitable for grouping. Because the problem is, if all databases are going to use that 90% all the time, now then this is not a suitable way. You got it?
Yes, yes.
Because all the databases are at a time is going to use the 90% of DTUs, then it will lose, because totally we are having only 100 only. At the
100 please.
same time 4 databases 90 it is going to take means, so totally we need that. So almost 360 right?
Correct.
But here all it is not taking same time, right? 1 12 10, blue taken 90, and then again the 90 reached by orange, the 12 25 only.
Mhm.
So at that time rest of the things are available, right? All DTs are available, so it's used. I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, yes.
So this type of features will be available when you are using these elastic pools. So the elastic pools is a very useful yeah, method for using that multiple databases. But if you are going to use that single database, then you don't want to use that elastic pools, right?
Correct.
Because the elastic pools also you have to pay the money. You got it now. I hope you
Yes, yes, sir.
cleared about
Ye-
this elastic
Yeah, I
pools.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Yes, yes.
Now come to this. Now tell me whether we want to select this elastic pool or not.
So this no need, right?
Because we are going to create only one database only we are going
Uh,
to create.
yes, yes.
Okay, so we don't want to use it. Suppose if you need, you can create it. I'll show you how to create that elastic pool now. But now I hope you have an idea whether we want to select the elastic pool or not. So based on the business scenario, you have to decide it. What will be the business scenario? I hope you can understand.
Yes, yes.
So then, so click the review and create. So 495 estimation cost per month is 499. So networking, nothing,
Yes.
security. So that's all. So blank, everything. Just I'm going to create it.
Yes.
So deployment is in progress. It's creating. So sometimes it will take time. So refresh. Okay, fine. So it's accepted. So deployment is completed. So that means your database is created. So go to this resource, and here the demo DB, right? The demo DB. So this is our database. This only have created, right? So this only have created. This is our database name,
Demo DB, yeah.
and see, this is our database name.
Service name.
Sorry, database server name. This is our server details. So actually, from the outside, if you are going to access your Azure database now, you have to use this server only. So actually, in the real-time scenario, mostly all the SQL Server developers, they will use that SQL Server Management Studio to access this one. So using the Management Studio, we can access. So for that one, we have to use the server details. And suppose in the future, if you are going to plan that change that configuration details, the pricing configuration details, right? The pricing configuration details, if you're going to change it now. So here, so the basics features are right, the basics pricing tile. The configuration, if you want to go into change it now, just to click this basics. So now it's navigating to the computer and storage. See, it's navigated to this one.
Yeah.
So from here, you can select it. So the which one you're going to change it, you have to select it. Got it?
Yes, yes.
So then, so the same way, Elastic Pool. So the Elastic Pool is not available here. Suppose you are planning to use that multiple databases in the Elastic Pool. If you're going to use that one, so here you can check it. Is there any Elastic Pool services are available around here? Otherwise, click this one. Is there any Elastic Pools are available? So there is no Elastic Pool details here, right?
No, sir.
So here, then it's not available. Okay. See this Elastic Pool.
Yes.
So SQL Elastic Pool. I'm coming back to this one, and this my database, and this is my database. Coming to the server. See here, yeah, it's available here. So that is a server. Actually, it's available the server. My Elastic Pools, right?
Okay.
my elastic pools. See here, just to click this one. Actually, so far we didn't create any elastic pool. So if you click this one now, so actually it will show this details. If there is elastic pools are available already, it's available created now, so it will show this one. But UA level, some changes are happened. Fine. Right. Okay. So the coming to this database server, I don't have that any database server. So here we are having that feature no elastic pool.
Mhm.
No elastic pool. So sir, new elastic pool. Just if you click this new elastic pool now, so as usual, so I have to select this subscription details and then resource group. So since we are using the sandbox, it will have that only one resource group, so that is selected by default. And elastic pool name you can select. So my elastic, anything you can give it.
Okay.
My elastic pool. Then server name. This is a server name. So I have selected. So by default it's selected. Under this one, under this server only we are creating this elastic pool. So it is available here. Then review and create. So rest of the things are common. Just to click.
Successful.
So it's done. So
Yeah.
apply is completed. So then go to the resource, my elastic pool. But I have created that elastic pool only, but I didn't add my database into this elastic pool, right?
Okay.
So you have to create the database. Just to click the create database. So enter the database name. Actually, if you are going to create the new one now, you have to create like this. If there is no database already available, if you are going to create that new database, then you can create like this. But already we are having database, right?
Yes.
Already we are having database. So how we can add the database into this one? So here, now I am coming back to this, my, see, this is our database details. On the server I'm
Remote
having,
yes.
so this is my database. This is my elastic pool. And what I have to do, I have to add that database to this elastic pool. See, zero database here, the add database. Here we are having the issue, right? The add database.
Yeah.
So I'm having only one database, so it is showing only one. So just I'm selecting this add database, then click OK. So currently in this pool, nothing because there is no. So now we have added this one, and then we have to select, save it. You have to save it.
So one question. So while creating the database only, that elastic pool is coming yes or no, right? In that
Yeah.
time only you can give yes and create elastic pool means it will automatically configure, right? No need
Yeah.
to give that DB again.
Yes, right, right. If you're having and when you're
Yeah.
the elastic pool now, when you're creating that database, you can select that elastic pool name and then you can create your database in that particular elastic pool.
Okay.
But here we didn't create that elastic pool earlier, so later only we have created, so that I'm adding that database into this elastic pool.
Yes,
And
yes.
one more thing is that
Yeah.
as adding the database into the elastic pool is not mandatory if you are using only one database.
Correct.
When it will be more helpful now, if you are going to use that multiple databases now, then at the time it will be more helpful.
So here while configure right database, it will ask, right? Suppose you are creating multiple database, it will like right now it is showing only demo DB, right?
Yeah,
So
demo
if
DB.
suppose you have four database means it will show four database.
Yeah, it will show that four database.
Okay, you
Actually,
can
in this
configure
server,
that's
as
one
of now,
element.
we are having only one database. That is the reason it was listed only one.
Correct.
But if you are having multiple, then it will be listed multiple. You can select what are the database you are going to add into that particular elastic pool.
Elastic pool. Yes, yes. Got it.
This is my elastic pool. So here, actually, this one actually. So here it will show this one, this elastic pool. So number of DBs, how many DBs are connected, storage, how many used, and unit average. So everything it will be listed here.
Correct.
So here you can check it. So we are having only one DB. So it is in the elastic general purpose, right? So now come to this my demo DB. Now see elastic pool, my elastic pool. So now it is in elastic pool. So pricing tier, it will be vary, right? Because that usage,
Yes, yes.
so the usage pool usage, so it might be increasing and decreasing. So based on the usage, the cost will be calculated.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yes,
So
yes.
so fine. So this is the way actually we can create that SQL database in the Azure. So now we have created that SQL database, and also we have seen that on how to create the elastic pool and how to add that existing database into that new created elastic pool. So how we can create that server for creating the database, everything we have seen. So and then configuration details we have discussed. So which type of configuration model we have to use it, DTU or vCore. So if you are going to use it for the production, on the production especially, they will use it the vCore only.
Before.
So the vCore, which model you have to select it. So three types of models are there. So you have to decide it which one. Based on that business requirement, we have to decide it. And if you are going to use that development purpose or that testing environment, then you can select that DTU configuration. We can select it. So configuration and elastic pool and how to create the SQL database in the Azure. So I hope everything is clear for you.
Yes, yes.
Then it's fine. Okay, right. So okay, right. So in the tomorrow session, actually, we will see that one, how to create the table in that database, and then how to access that Azure SQL database from the SQL Server Management Studio. See, SQL Server Management Studio is the UI for accessing your database, actually.
Yes, yes.
And in the Oracle, you're using Toad, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
Toad or SQL Developer, these all are UI. So like this for the
Yeah.
SQL Server, the Management Studio is the UI for accessing your database. So in the tomorrow session, we will see some features how to access that our Azure SQL database using this Management Studio. We will see it.
Mhm. Okay.
So now, if you are having that any questions or clarification, now you can ask it.
No, it's fine. It was good. Just can you ping me that link so that I will try also?
Yeah,
That's one
sure. I'll
doubt.
share to you. So that link, just a minute. So rest of the things all clear, right?
Yes, yes, all clear.
Then it's fine. Okay, fine. So new things we will see in the next session.
Sure.